Hello, I'm Javian Choo. Today I'll be talking about why decision making is often described as the essence of a manager's job. Every managerial function, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, requires making decisions. Managers are constantly faced with choices about goals, how to allocate resources, staffing, and selecting the right strategies. The quality of these decisions has a direct impact on the organization's performance, productivity, and employee satisfaction. In short, effective decision making is what enables a manager to successfully guide the organization towards achieving its objectives. For this question, I chose finding an internship placement as my example to illustrate the 8-step decision making process. First, I identified the problem. I needed to choose a suitable internship that aligned with my career goals. Next, I identified the decision criteria, which included factors like location, learning opportunities, company reputation, allowance, and job scope. Then, I allocated weights to each criterion. Learning opportunity was given 40%, company reputation 25%, location 20%, and allowance 15%. After that, I developed three alternatives: Company A, which is a consulting firm, Company B, a marketing agency, and Company C, a bank. I analyzed these options based on the weighted criteria, and Company A scored the highest overall. So I selected Company A as my internship placement. I implemented the decision by accepting their offer and starting the onboarding process. Finally, I evaluated the effectiveness of my decision after completing the internship. I found that it provided strong learning opportunities and matched my career goals, confirming that it was the right choice. Buyers often plays an important role in decision making for both CEOs and first line managers because human judgment is rarely completely objective. Even when managers try to be fair, their decision can still be influenced by unconscious bias. Some common daily biases include confirmation bias, where managers prefer information that supports their existing beliefs; anchoring bias, relying too much on the first piece of information received; and availability bias, making decisions based on what comes easily to mind rather than actual data. There's also overconfident bias, where managers believe too strongly in their own judgment, and recency bias, where more weight is given to recent performance or events. These biases can affect many areas of management, such as hiring, promotions, resource allocation, and even the way feedback is given.
My name is Amjad with Fawzan, and now I'll be presenting question 2-4, which is what is intuitive decision making, and in your opinion, when is this method best used, and what are the major drawbacks of this managerial decision making style? So, first thing first, we need to know what is intuitive decision making. It is a process where managers rely on their feelings, instincts, and past experiences to make a choice rather than depending only on data or detailed analysis. So, in simple words, it's when a manager uses their gut feeling to decide what to do. Unlike the rational approach, which focuses on careful analysis and logic, intuition happens almost instantly. It's based on a manager's deep understanding and experience that helps them recognize patterns and make quick judgment. And even when they can't fully explain how they know it's the right choice. And for your guys' information, this method works best in situations where first decision must be made quickly, like during a crisis or emergency. Second, there is limited time to collect or analyze data. And the third one, the manager has a lot of experience or expertise in that specific area. And the last one, the problem is new, uncertain, or complex, and there's no clear rule to follow. However, intuitive decision making also has some drawbacks because it depends heavily on personal feelings and experience. It can sometimes lead to bias or subjective decision, and a manager's intuition might be wrong if it is influenced by emotion, overconfidence, or past mistakes. And it is also difficult to explain or justify an intuitive decision to others, especially in a business environment where decisions usually need evidence or logical reasoning. And finally, intuition might cause managers to ignore important data or facts, which is leading to poor outcomes if their gut feeling is off. So, in conclusion, intuitive decision making can be very effective when used by experienced manager in uncertain situations. But to make the best decision, it should be balanced with rational analysis whenever possible. Let's now move to the next question, which is question 2-5. Herbert and Simon started work on boundary, rationality, and satisficing because of his hypothesis that people had a limited ability to grasp the present and anticipate the future. And we need to discuss the problems associated with making decisions using the rational model. So, what is the rational model? The rational model assumes that managers make decisions in a fully logical and objective way. So this means they collect all the information, identify every possible alternative, and then choose the best option that gives the best outcome. And to make a rational decision, managers are expected to have perfect information about all alternatives and the time, cognitive ability, and resources to carefully evaluate each choice. In the end, the manager selects the alternative and that maximizes the likelihood of achieving the goal. However, in reality, this is quite difficult to achieve, and that's where the limitation of the rational model come in, which I'll explain next. Now, let's look at the limitation of the rational model. First, there is the assumption of perfect information. In real life, data is often incomplete, unclear, or even unavailable. So this means managers usually make decisions with the only partial knowledge, not full certainty. Second, there are time constraints. In many organizations, managers don't have enough time to analyze every alternative carefully, so they often need to make quick decisions, especially in fast-paced industry. And finally, we have bounded rationality, which is a concept introduced by Herbert A. Simon. So he explained that managers have limited cognitive ability, so they cannot process every piece of information perfectly. Because of this, they often settle a decision that's good enough instead of the absolute best, like a process known as satisficing. So, in conclusion, while the rational model is a useful guide, it's not always realistic in practice because of human and situational limitation. So that's all from me. I'll pass to the next person.
Hi, my name is Safwan and today I will present about 10-point summary of our first case study, which is big brown numbers. So for the first summary is UPS, which is stand for the United Parcel Service, is the world's largest package delivery company. So UPS delivers over 20 million packages every day to more than 220 countries and territories. It reaches every address in North America and Europe, showing how massive it is and reliable its global network is. And for the second, efficiency and on-time delivery are the heart of the UPS operations. So the company's success depends on the getting packages to customers quickly and efficiently. Every small delay or mistake could affect millions of the deliveries. So that's why UPS focus on the precision and the time management. So for the third one, UPS trains its drivers with strict rules and procedures. So drivers are repeatedly trained to follow company rules and maintain consistency. This includes on the using specific techniques to save time and stay safe during the deliveries. And for the fourth one, small habits are emphasized to save the time. For example, we can see that drivers are taught to hold their keys on their pinky fingers, which is this, like this, so they don't waste time searching in their pockets. And then they are also instructed to avoid left turn and backing up, that is which can reduce the accident risk and the delays. Next, for the number 5, it started when UPS introduced a new system called Orion. So Orion stands for the On-Road Integrated Optimization and Navigation. So it is an advanced computer system designed to find the best possible delivery routes for the drivers, which are making UPS even more efficient. Next, Orion used a powerful algorithm to plan the routes. So there are a team of the mathematicians build the Orion to calculate the most efficient sequence of the stops. It takes into account many factors like delivery time, traffic rules, and even private roads that don't appear on the maps. For the number 7, the system solved a huge efficiency problem. Each driver makes about 120 stops daily, and there are more possible roads combinations which are too many to count. So there are Orion helps simplify this impossible task by finding the smarter roads. Can the next Orion took 10 years and hundreds of the millions of the dollars to develop it. So this massive investment shows how serious UPS is about the efficiency. So even the expert called the Orion one of the biggest operation research project ever done by a company. Then for the number 9, drivers can choose between Orion's road and the old method. So every morning, drivers log into their delivery device and see two road options, the one suggested by the Orion and the traditional road one. If they choose the old road, then they must explain why they choose it. And for the last summary, there are some drivers resisted at first, but UPS believe in teamwork with the technology. So there are some drivers that are uncomfortable with the Orion because they didn't understand its logic or felt they were losing control. However, UPS believe that a driver together with the Orion is better than each alone, showing that how human skills and the technology can complement for each other. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Khoo Hoay. Today, I will explain two of the discussion questions for case application 1. So first of all, why is efficiency and safety so important to UPS? Firstly, because they are in charge of a large number of parcels every day. Based on the case stated above, there are over 20 million packages and documents are transported daily throughout UPS. So it is very important to save time, money, transportation for delivery, and also human resources. Efficiency is essential to make sure all the parcels have been delivered on time and the process of delivery is safe. Besides that, it can also avoid accidents and injuries while the parcel is delivered to customers. So as we know, most of the drivers will always rush while they send the parcel. So developing a safe road is very important to decrease the number of accidents that happen. Last but not least, it can also improve the reliability of customers to UPS and also strengthen the image of UPS. What we'll say, because if we always deliver the parcel on time and also ensure the condition of parcel is in a good condition, customer will more trust to us. Next question. Would you characterize a driver's road decisions as structured or unstructured problems, program or non-program decisions? So for this case, I will characterize this as an unstructured problem. So actually, what is unstructured problems? It is a new or unusual problems for which information is ambiguous or incomplete. So for UPS, every route for every day is different and complicated. The destination for every day is also different, so the road choice must consider many unexpected variables such as special delivery times, road regulations, and the existence of private roads that don't appear on map. For the decision making, it is a non-programmed decision, which is when unstructured problems happens, there is no cut and dry solution available. So for UPS, the road decisions made every day should depend on the new information given. This can ensure the decisions made are suitable and effective for the problems met. So drivers must be flexible and construct a solution for unique situation. There is no fixed and homogeneous solution for each case. So thus, I will have the decision making of non-programmed decisions.
Hi, my name is Mohammad Ilhan Raees, and I'll be explaining the two remaining questions for case study 1. For this question, it asks, how would technology help drivers make better decisions? I'll be explaining using the 8 steps of the decision-making process. So first, Orion helps drivers clearly identify their main problem, which is finding the most efficient and safest route to complete about 120 deliveries a day. Without Orion, drivers might waste time choosing routes manually. Orion pinpoints this problem and provides a data-driven solution. Next, Orion helps drivers recognize what matters most when planning routes. The system considers key criteria such as delivery time, fuel usage, safety, traffic flow, and accessibility. This ensures that every route decision is based on accurate and relevant information. The third step is allocation of weights to criteria. Drivers need to complete average of 120 stops every day. Orion automatically prioritizes the most important factors for drivers. It gives higher weight to safety and time efficiency, ensuring that drivers complete their deliveries on time while avoiding risky or congested roads. This helps drivers focus on what truly matters during their day. Orion then generates several possible routes using advanced algorithms. Drivers can compare these options against their traditional manual routes. This gives them the ability to choose between their old method and data-backed alternatives designed to save time and fuel. Orion provides many solutions for different situations by a team of mathematicians. It studies distance, road conditions, delivery priorities, and real-time traffic to find the most efficient route. This analysis helps drivers avoid unnecessary turns, traffic jams, and wasted mileage. Once Orion finishes its analysis, it recommends the best possible route. Drivers can see which path will save the most time, reduce fuel usage, and ensure safety. This allows them to make smarter decisions instead of relying on guesswork. Next, drivers implement Orion's suggested route during their daily deliveries. They follow step-by-step navigation designed for maximum efficiency. If a driver decides not to follow it, UPS collects feedback, which helps both the system and the driver learn for the future. The final step is the evaluation of the decision effectiveness. Orion gave the best route to complete the daily delivery and save time and cost successfully. The last question for this case study is, how is UPS being a sustainable corporation? UPS is being a sustainable corporation by focusing on two main areas, which is reducing its environmental footprint and minimizing waste. First, UPS reduces its environmental footprint by cutting down fuel usage and lowering carbon emissions. They use technologies like Orion to plan efficient routes so drivers travel fewer miles and save fuel. Second, UPS practices waste reduction through strict regulations that prevent wasted time and fuel. Their delivery rules, like avoiding left turns, help reduce delays and make operations more efficient.
Hello and a very good morning, everyone. So my name is Mohammad bin Mohammad Ssunaibari, and today I will be presenting about the 10 points of summary for case study number 2. So the first one is that managers makes different types of decisions. Some use logic and others rely on instinct. And the second one is that structured decisions follows rules, like subbing an injured player with no debate. And the third one is unstructured decisions depends on instinct. Picking a captain or changing tactics feels more emotional rather than statistical. And for the last one is that managers also set clear team goals to give players more focus and direction throughout the season. So for the next point, which is point number 5, each situation calls for a different approach. No two matches or challenges are ever the same. So for the number six, is that information helps shape better choices and decisions. This is because data on performance and opponents supports planning for manager to forecast their next matches. And for number seven, emotions influence every decision that are made. Confidence, pressure, and team morale all matters during a game. And for number eight, quick thinking is very essential in football, especially for managers and coaches. Managers must make big calls in split seconds. Yeah, for example, if people were to be injured during the game, or if there was a red card or maybe a yellow card, then managers needs to take action at that moment. Now, for the last 2 points, for the number nine is experience strengthens decision making. This is because seasoned managers or experienced managers can handle tough moments more calmly and more relaxed and can handle these situations during distress. And for the last point is that good decisions drive success. The right calls builds winning team and strong team spirit, and they can achieve anything during the season. And that's all for the 10 points. Thank you very much. So for the first question of case study number two, which is discussion question 215, what type of decisions are made by football managers? Would you characterize these decisions as structured or unstructured problems and explain? So I will be answering this question in the next slide. Thank you very much. So these are a few examples of decisions that are made by football manager. The first one is a substitution of a player made by a manager due to injury. And the second one is choosing a team captain. And the third one is setting an objective for the team. And the fourth one is selecting the starting 11s. And for the fifth one, promoting players from the junior club. And for the last one is that changing the team's formation or strategy during a match. So I already classified between the two problems, which is structured problems and unstructured problems. So for the first structured problem is a substitution of a player made by a manager due to injury. The reason is the decision is usually based on medical assessment and also clear physical evidence, such as if a player were to be tackled and there were bruises or maybe dislocated bones or fractures or broken bones. Yes. And for the second structured problem is setting an objective for the team. The reason is managers plan measurable goals that follow club policy and performance data. For example, Eric Ten Hag set goals for Manchester United during the season, and he can already forecast how to achieve these goals for during the season. And for the third one is promoting players from the junior club. This decision follows a formal process based on performance data and policy. Gavi was promoted to Barcelona's senior team after meeting academy performance standards. Gavi was performing at the academy and he achieved all the goals. So that's why he was promoted to the Barcelona senior team. Now, for the unstructured problems, the first one is choosing a team captain. A manager picks a team captain based on trust and personality, like when Arteta chose Martin Odegaard for his calm leadership and respect in the squad. So, for a captain to be chosen, it is not about his solely based on his performance and statistics of during the game, but based on trust, which is something more emotional. And for the second one is selecting the starting 11. Managers often rely on instinct and team chemistry, just as Ancelotti follows his gut when he was deciding on who to start for the Real Madrid starting 11s. And for the last one is changing a formation during a match. This is a quick emotional call made in a moment. For example, when Tuchel switched Chelsea's formation mid-game to regain control of the game so that they can win. So as you can see, there are two types of problems, and structured problems are, for me, they are statistical, and for unstructured problems, they are more emotional. for a manager. That's all. Thank you very much.
So for the next question is, describe how football managers can use big data to make better decisions referring to rationality, bounded rationality, intuition, and also evidence-based management. Big data can help to provide objective and more informative data to the managers. Hence, managers can use this data to make decisions logically and objectively as it offers a factual and statistical evidence. For example, by analyzing thousands of passes, tackles, and shots from the past matches, managers can identify the most effective tactics and formations against different opponents. However, sometimes managers also face with bounded rationality and has to accept a good enough solution in certain aspects, as they are also limited by their own ability to process information. On top of that, it is also impossible to analyze all information on all alternatives due to the time and mental limits. Besides that, managers also use intuition to make decisions. They might rely on their experience and gut feeling to make decisions, especially during the match itself, as there is no time to analyze the data. Overall, this approach represents a evidence-based management, where decisions are made based on data and research evidence rather on the assumption or personal bias. The next question is, what types of conditions are more likely to influence the performance analyst team's work? In my opinion, the type of condition that will influence the performance analyst team's work is risk. This is because they have a lot of data in terms of past performances that they can analyze and use it to predict probabilities to different alternatives. For example, by analyzing over 500 corner kicks, they can calculate the probability of scoring from specific tactics and use this information to improve results in the following season. Other than that, they can also estimate injury risk based on a player workload data. If the player has played every single match in that season, the probability of the player getting injured will be significantly high. Besides that, uncertainty also influences their work. If there are a lot of data and past performances that can help them, there are still a number of things that they cannot predict and control that will still influence the game, like the opponent tactics and referee decisions. These factors will make it difficult for them to predict outcomes with full accuracy.
Hi, my name is Mohammad Naufal and I will continue with case study question 2, question 18. Do you think it is appropriate for football managers to use only quantitative information to evaluate their players' performance during a season? Why or why not? Our answer is no. We don't think it's appropriate for football managers to rely only on quantitative information when evaluating their players' performance. While quantitative data provides useful and objective insights, it represents only one part of the bigger picture. Meanwhile, qualitative factors are intangibles which data alone cannot measure. Numbers such as passing accuracy, goals scored, distance covered, or successful tackles can help managers understand a player's measurable performance. However, football is a dynamic and emotional sport, and not everything that matters can be captured through statistics. For examples, a player's influence on team morale, their leadership on and off the pitch, their ability to motivate teammates, or their sense of positioning and decision-making are all qualitative factors that data cannot fully measure. In many cases, a player might perform an important tactical role that doesn't show up in the stats, like drawing defenders away to create space for others or maintaining defensive structure without directly winning the ball. Similarly, qualities like attitude, disciplines, teamwork, and mental resilience are crucial in determining a player's contribution to the team's overall success. Therefore, managers should take a balanced approach. They can use data and analytics as a foundation to guide decisions, but they should also rely on their observations, experience, and intuitions to assess aspects that numbers cannot explain. By combining both quantitative and qualitative informations, managers can make fairer, more accurate, and more human-centered evaluations of their player through the seasons. For question 19, how can big data transform football decisions in the future? Big data has already started transforming the world of football, and in the future,
its impact will be even greater. It provides managers and analysts with detailed information that helps them make smarter and faster decisions. Here are several key ways big data can transform football decisions, which are player performance analysis, injury prevention and fitness management, tactical and strategic decision making, talent identification and scouting, youth development for youth academies, business and fan engagement decisions. Number 1. Player performance analysis. Big data allows coaches and analysts to track every movement a player makes on the field, such as passing accuracy, running distance, positioning, and reaction time. This helps managers identify each player's strengths and weaknesses. For example, if the data shows a defender's loses concentration late in matches, the coach can design specific training to improve endurance and focus. By studying such patterns, teams can create personalized development plans for every player, leading to continuous improvement. Number 2. Injury prevention and fitness management. One of the most valuable use of big data is in reducing injuries. Using wearable sensors and biometric data, analysts can monitor heart rate, muscle strain, and fatigue levels. When the data indicates a player is close to physical exhaustion, managers can rest that player before an injury occurs. Over time, this helps teams maintain a healthier squad and perform more consistently throughout the season. Number 3. Tactical and strategic decision making. Big data also improve how teams plan and execute tactics. By analyzing game footage and statistics, coaches can identify what strategies work best against certain opponents. For example, data might reveal that a particular team struggles to defend against quick counterattacks or crosses from the left side. Managers can then use this information to adjust their game plan. During matches, real-time data can help make smarter substitutions and formation changes based on how the game is unfolding. And number 4, talent identification and scouting. In the future, big data will completely transform how clubs discover and recruit new players. Instead of relying only on scouts' opinions, teams can analyze large databases of player statistics from around the world. Algorithms can compare a young player's performance patterns to those of successful professionals, helping identify hidden talent that might otherwise go unnoticed. This makes scouting more accurate, efficient, and less biased. For number 5, youth development. For youth academies, big data helps young players understand their roles, positioning, and areas for improvement. Coaches can use performance data to guide players' progress step by step. For example, a youth midfielder can track his passing success rates and movement efficiency compared to professional standards. This helps develop homegrown players who can fit more smoothly in the seniors team playing style. And for the last one, business and fan engagement decisions. Beyond the fields, big data is also transforming football from business perspective. Clubs can use data to understand fan behavior, preferences, and engagement patterns. These informations help in planning marketing campaigns, pricing tickets more effectively, and creating personalized fans experience both in stadiums and online. In summary, big data is transforming football into more scientific, data-driven, and strategic sports. It helps managers make better tactical, physical, and organizational decisions. However, data alone is not enough. The best managers will combine data analysis with human intuitions and experience. Together, these elements will continue to shape the future of football and keep teams like Manchester City at the top of the game.